Hello, welcome to the Happy Families podcast. Here's a question. When you're feeling anxious, when you're feeling down, when you're feeling alone, which we all do sometimes, what do most of us do? Research seems to indicate that we turn inwards. We try to take care of ourselves. Maybe a long bath, if we're so lucky to have the luxury. Some chalky a Netflix binge, a bit of retail therapy. Culture tells us you need self-care. You need to put yourself first. You need to treat yourself. And I'm not against any of those things. Sometimes they can feel really good. But there's fascinating research that suggests that we might be getting this backwards. Today on the Happy Families podcast, a Doctor's Desk episode that highlights some brand new research suggesting something called the kindness paradox, why helping others helps you more. That next. Stay with us. Hello and welcome to the Happy Families podcast, where you get real parenting solutions every single day. This is Australia's most downloaded parenting podcast. Today, we are going to be upfront about it. It's about kindness and how to teach your kids kindness. We often, around the dinner table, instead of talking about what you're grateful for or what made you happy today, we talk about who you were kind to or who was kind to you. And we find that it promotes some pretty interesting conversations. Today, a study published in the journal Emotion, just in the last couple of months, that took 777 people during the COVID-19 pandemic, a time where there was a whole lot of depression and anxiety and loneliness right up high, and split them into three groups to have a look at how we could play around with kindness, happiness, well-being, and mental health challenges.
So I give you a really hard time about all the research and stuff.
Yes, you do.
This is some research I could really back up.
Right.
I can get behind this one.
Why is that? Is it because it resonates with your life, or because it's just so practical that it doesn't feel like it's theory? It actually just feels like real life?
No, because I've had so many experiences, being on the receiving end of other people's kindness, being the one giving kindness, and I've had some really powerful shifts in my mental health as a result of choosing kindness for others over kindness for myself over the years.
Okay.
I've seen it work.
So let's not bury the lead. Let's just go straight to the punchline, the upshot of what this study was. Three groups, like I said, 777 people. Group one, do 3 acts of kindness for other people each week. Group two, do 3 acts of kindness for yourself each week. Group 3, they're the control group. Just go about your life. How boring. The control group's never the exciting group. And they were measured on depression, anxiety, and loneliness at baseline, and then 2 weeks later.
I can assume, based on my own personal experience, what they found, but what came out of the study?
What came out of the study was exactly what you would expect based on your own personal experience. The researchers found that the people who did acts of kindness for others saw significant decreases in all 3: depression down, anxiety down, loneliness down. Let me say that again. Look after other people, and your depressive symptoms, your anxiety symptoms, and your loneliness all drop. People who did acts of kindness for themselves, depression dropped, but anxiety and loneliness stayed the same. I think that's an interesting finding. We'll come back to that in a sec. People who were the control group, nothing changed. Everything was the same as you would expect. But worth highlighting this, helping others reduced anxiety and loneliness and depression. Helping yourself didn't, except for depression. So today, a conversation about why this matters, not just for us, but also for our kids.
I'm going back a number of years now, but I remember a time where one of my friends just totally disappeared off the social planet. She was not there. And I finally reached out to her and I said, what's going on? And she said, I'm just in a funk and I don't know what to do.
And I don't like people. I don't want to be around them.
Yeah. And we had a little chat about that, and I kind of, we brainstormed some ideas. And finally I said to her, why don't we do some secret drop-offs to people in our community? And she was like, okay. And she said, what are you thinking? And I'm like, well, I think we need to pick a theme. And I think let's color theme it. And she was like, okay. She was like, what are you doing?
Yeah, this is so you. This is so you.
So her husband's very first car was a little yellow Escort. And she said, you'll never guess what my husband just brought. he had found the same kind of car from his late teens and brought it as a little bit of a hobby car. And she said, we've got it sitting in the yard. I'm like, yellow. Let's take the car out and we'll make it a yellow theme. So we became the Sunshine Bandits.
And the great thing is you're in a car that nobody recognises because nobody knows that he's got it in the garage. So
well, if we were ever trying to be stealthy, being in a yellow Escort from the 1970s was not the best choice.
But nobody knew that it was you, so you were fine.
But can I tell you, over the next handful of months, the joy that we experienced as we reconnected as friends.
And did all the planning and who are we going to knock on the door of and surprise with goodies?
We drove into somebody's driveway one night. Her husband's a policeman. The police car showed up as we were trying to be stealthy in all black, walking up her driveway. So we're now hiding in the bushes with 2 policemen in the driveway. And we had to stay there for about 10 minutes while he went in and got his dinner and came out and left. Another time, we were climbing up the stairs and realised that the front window was open and our friend was literally sitting against the chair at the front window. So now we're down on all fours crawling across her veranda.
So you're doing these mystery drops, you're dropping off parcels to everybody. Let me ask you this question about this, and it's so fun even hearing you relive the story. She wasn't feeling great. You've said, let's jump in the little yellow Escort and zoom around over the next couple of months and drop parcels off.
With the really crunchy gears.
We'll drop things off at people that we love and see if we can bring some sunshine into their lives. Obviously, it felt good.
It felt amazing.
What would it have been like if you said, hey, over the next couple of months, let's go out once a week and get lunch, or let's go and get a massage? Would it have had the same impact?
So, because in essence, I was helping her and we were connecting, I think that going out for lunch would have had a similar impact. But I believe the joy of knowing that our little visit was going to bring other people joy is the biggest gift out of that experience.
Yeah, great insight.
Connecting with people is important. And if we're struggling to do things with other people, having one person that we can catch up with and just share our hearts with, that's really important. But the real gift is when we recognize that other people are doing it hard too. We have no idea the burdens that people are carrying. And if we can find ways to just spark a little bit of joy in their lives, it actually makes us feel awesome.
Sunshine Bandits, let's find out why it is that doing kind things to yourself might reduce depression but doesn't address anxiety and loneliness, and why when you're kind to others, you feel more connected, you have positive outcomes across the board, and what this means for us as parents. That's next on the Happy Families podcast, Doctor's Desk Edition. Stay with us. We're back. This is the Happy Families podcast. We are Justin and Kylie Coulson. If you're enjoying the pod and you get something out of it, please share it with your friends, your neighbours. When you do that, it helps other people to discover the pod. And of course, that means we get to make more of an impact in people's lives.
For anyone wondering why kindness directed at other people has a bigger impact, what would you share with them? What would you say?
Yeah, so based on this study, here's what I'm taking from it. When you're kind to yourself, you feel a lot of positive emotion in the moment. That's good. I mean, that's why we're...
Well, there's so much talk about self-care,
right,
and this need to actually make time for yourself, like actually withdraw and connect with yourself. Like that's an important part, right?
And it feels good to spoil yourself. So in that moment, short term, you get a positive emotion boost. That's likely to reduce your feelings of depression, which is good. It doesn't necessarily last. And sometimes while you're in the middle of the massage, all you can think about is all the other things you're supposed to be doing and all the stress you're carrying. But that should usually be okay. But it doesn't address anxiety and it doesn't address loneliness. When you're kind to others, it increases your connection to those people. The sense of connection is associated with all those good feelings, but it also decreases anxiety and loneliness. It works through totally different pathways. Self-kindness makes you feel good. Other kindness makes you feel connected.
Yeah. So in my experience, the times where I have done things for myself, I felt great in the moment, like you've said.
Yeah.
But then I've had to re-enter the world.
That's right. Come back to the family. And with the
whatever
kids
that looks like, whatever the challenges that I'm experiencing, it's still there at the other end. And that luxurious moment in time that was all just mine has all but gone.
Yeah.
When I do things for other people, in essence, it's the same. I'm coming back to the real world, but I'm also so much more aware that somebody else's life has changed because I've done something.
We have this thing at church where we're supposed to look after other people in the congregation, and we're given like an assignment. I want you to, Justin, I want you to look after these 3 families. Just keep an eye on them, check in, make sure they're doing okay. And there have been times where I've looked at you and I'm like, I need to go and just visit these 3 families, just check in, just say hello, let them know that I'm thinking of them. And more times than not, I'll have a big sigh and say to you, I don't have time for this. I'm just not in the mood for it. I'm tired. There's so many things to do. My family needs me. And it's a really big sacrifice to go and do it. And yet, because I have that sense of duty, but also because I care about the families, you wave me goodbye and off I go and do it. And what's fascinating to me, and I've been thinking about this for about 15 to 20 years, is every time I go and do it, I come back and feel better about life. I feel better about me. And I come back as a better husband and father. Going out and doing something for other people, creating those connections outside the home actually helps me to come home and appreciate the connections I have inside the home even more. Connection is at the very core of our mental health. It's the very core of our well-being. Connection is the very heart of our relationships in our lives. And what happens when we help others is our brain kind of goes, I'm valuable to my community. I'm connected. I matter. This psychological phenomenon called mattering that I was reading about 20 years ago when I was doing my undergrad. Researchers have found that people who feel like they matter just have better lives, full stop, end of story. Less lonely, less anxiety, less depression, more well-being. So we've only got a minute or so, but we really need to talk about what this means for us as parents. If helping other people matters so much, what are we supposed to do with our kids when it comes to helping? Because kids don't really like helping that much, or do they?
So here's the crazy thing though. I think that often when we talk about helping others, we conjure up in our head this massive task that needs to be done in order for it to make a difference in somebody's day. The amount of times I've been with my children and one of them has seen somebody walk past and they've really liked their haircut or they've really liked their dress and literally have just looked at that person and said, oh my gosh, I love that dress.
Yep.
To see that person's face, like, first of all, it's a little bit like,
some random is just,
who are you?
Some random young person.
And what do you want?
It's just complimented
often.
me.
Yeah, there's definitely a kind of skeptical beginning. And then when they've realized that they literally are just there to kind of just compliment them, to just see they actually walk away with a bit of a step, like a spring in their step.
Of course. It feels so good.
And that's the idea though, right? It's like it can be as simple as that.
So if it's not a compliment, and it can be, what else would you say would be a really great...
It's not honking your horn when somebody does something wrong on the road. Like, it's giving them the benefit of the doubt. Like, honestly.
Of course.
Imagine what it's like.
I'm feeling a bit targeted the way you said that, the way you looked at me when I said that.
I wasn't targeting you at all.
I'm trying to stay off the horn. I'm trying to be good. Although I did try to educate somebody about bicycle etiquette the other day when I was riding and they wanted to have a word to me.
Well, they did nearly kill us.
Anyway, yeah.
But it's seeing a short person at the shopping centre struggling to get a can off the top shelf and just going and doing it without being asked. So you can
say that because you're almost 6 foot tall. Drives me crazy. Yes, it is. It's acts of kindness. So a little cookie drop for the neighbours. Thank you note to the teacher. You've talked a number of times this year about just a little coffee voucher for the teacher, just as a thanks. Calling a grandparent to say good day.
Writing a handwritten thank you note to somebody.
So we're not saying that self-kindness is bad. The study showed that it does reduce depression and positive feelings are important and taking care of yourself matters.
You can give me a massage anytime.
But other kindness, especially when you're struggling emotionally, is a well-being booster. And that is something that's worth teaching to your kids to help them to be happier. Here's your challenge for the week. Get the kids to work with you on doing something kind for someone. And if it works, do it again. And again, maybe 3 acts of kindness, maybe 5 acts of kindness, not for themselves, but for other people. And it doesn't have to be big.
A tip, if it's too hard for them to do that for their siblings, often they're going to actually have a much easier time doing it for someone outside the house.
And then at dinner time, instead of saying what made you happy today or what were you grateful for, which are great questions, or what did you get up to today, just say to them, who'd you help today? Or who helped you? And how did that feel? The research shows your kids are going to feel less anxious, less depressed, less lonely. They're going to feel happier. Because the funny paradox around all of this is the fastest way to feel better about yourself is to help someone else feel better about their life. That's the Doctor's Desk for today. The Happy Families podcast is produced by Justin Rulon from Bridge Media. Mim Hammonds provides additional support for us on the pod. And if you'd like more info to make your family happier, go and help someone. Don't worry about listening to the pod or visiting the website. Just go and help someone. It'll make a difference. Or visit happyfamilies.com.au.